himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, look at the Johnson! Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it! Big Barry!
It's a good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the finale of the first season of the JPB TCR Cup Championship. We've battled our way around the UK and tonight it comes down to this. We return, of course, to the heart of British motorsport here for the Silverstone International, which played host. Cast our minds back 6 weeks to the media day. It was originally meant to be round 1. It's now round 6. It's the finale. And with the championship in the pros up for grabs, it's all to play for. It'll be myself, Zach Sweeney, James Parfitt, the man himself, alongside me, albeit with a chest infection. He's trooping along, bless him, and he'll be joining me in the commentary booth. Talking of the championship, let's take a quick look as to how things are racking up coming into the final couple of races this season. In the pros, of course, it's Dan Mould, who is a very competent touring car driver. He leads the way on 243 points, but only 10 points back is Gavin Gardner. Callum Regar and the Gavin Gardner behind, and then Mikael Lees in third. And then, of course, you can see there Jamie Dory, Stephen Fry, the top 5. Arthur Thurtle in 6th. Needs to essentially win both races if he wants a chance. Of course, he's a little bit farther back because he's yet to he's essentially already taken his drop week by missing a week, as opposed to the other people around him. He still technically has got a chance at winning the championship. Following our way down, Adam Delmont, Alan McCain, Lee Bowden and Mark Hutchinson, the top 10. Then comes John Brown, Gary Craig, Adam Wright in 14th. As you can see, Callum Regarton actually has just shot himself up to 3rd place. That's now correlating with what's on the iRace as well. So he's up there in 3rd. He also has a chance at the championship. Gary Craig, who unfortunately hasn't really had a season to write home about. He's only 13th. Adam Wright, Jonah Johnson, the top 15. Sam Blees and Gavin Petty, the 17th place driver in the championship standing. Over to the AMS. Let's have a quick look as to how things are over there. Unfortunately for the people rooting for the AMS, I suppose those for rooting for Jay Corley, it's not too bad because he's already wrapped up the AM Championship. He did so last week at Brands Hatch. Kev Aylett and Steve Woodcock are 2nd and 3rd, with Jess Rakowski after, to be fair, a very brilliant couple of races last time out at Brands Hatch, sees her 4th, only 4 points off a top 3 in the championship. Now that would be a very good result for the American. Michael Seal, the top 5 with Scott Malcolm, Michael Hollingworth 6th and 7th. Then comes Chris Barnes and Ryan Taylor in a heated fight for 8th place. John Cook rounds off the top 10. Then comes Rob Williams, Tony Walker, Carl Jacklett, Russell Fowler and Josh Boot, the top 15. Tom Bingham, Dan Lewis and Dan Fritz, the 18 driver contingent in the AM field. Actually, no, there's 19. There's Armin Brusso as well on a lonely 30 points right down at the bottom. We've seen a plethora of talent amongst the JPB touring car lot, and it all comes down to this. James, well, it's been a pretty good season. There you can see the Teams Championship as well. Next Gen Racing having a very decent day in the office. SRL contingents 3rd, 4th, 5th as well. So, yeah, it's everyone just in their own little world, really, in their own respective teams. Then comes Backfire, Altitude and Spectre, the 8 teams that we have got on the field. James, oh, what a season it has been. It's been amazing. There is the AM Championship as well. Jacer probably not really going to be contended too much. Ignium and JPB close, though. Those rooting for the JPB outfit could well see them take the 2nd place spot in the AM Teams Championship. Sequential, Triple P, the top 5 with Performance and Atomic at 6th and 7th. Now, finally, James, we'll be able to get to you after so many championship standings. Oh, what a season it's been. And, well, all to play for in the pros.
Yeah, it has been a great season. Welcoming everybody as well. As you can hear, I'm a little bit under the weather, so Zach's going to bring you through and do the main sort of comms for me, and I'll be here a little bit as well. But yeah, it's been an epic season, and I think it's shown partly due to the fact that obviously we've got the announcement of season 2. So if you haven't seen the announcement as of yet as well, we will bring you up the announcement a little bit later. Maybe between the races, we will preview or the announcement for the TCRs. But it's been a great season so far as well, and one that I think should be absolutely incredible, as I gave you a brief little peek of what went on there as well. But Zach, I'm looking forward to this. Say we're into qualifying now as well, so the drivers just got to put it on the grid and try and do as best they can.
They do. It's definitely going to be a tough qualifying session. For those that are getting teased, if you follow the JPB TikTok, you won't need to be teased. So make sure you head over there, give us a follow, like all the videos, and make sure you're keeping up to date with all the little clips and funny moments and harsh moments on the TikTok. I've already been featured a couple of times, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a bit of both. Who knows? Anyway, yes, these guys are into qualifying for the final time this season. Well, it's the final time this season. It's the second time they're having to do it at Silverstone. Very, very close the last time we came here, James, though, because it's a very short circuit, of which a lot of it is actually sort of spent, flat out. So they are going to have to be quite mindful, actually, of their lap times, because it's going to be a small difference that makes the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the things. I want to give Jamie Dory a shout out as well, because believe it or not, at the moment, Jamie Dory is actually driving with a broken hand. So Jamie Dory, unfortunately, did break his hand, and he is still driving in the car. So good luck to Jamie Dory there as well. Phil, get well soon, James. Let the help take the weight and take it easier. That's my plan, Phil. And Jay Corley can't qualify, so will be interesting. You've changed cars, Mr. Corley. You bully boy, right at the end of the season in a Honda, and now you've changed cars. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, I think, as well. To be fair, there hasn't been many people. Jay coming in, I think he's just having a little bit of fun right at the end there as well. But I think qualifying here is probably more important than some of the other racetracks we've been to. And I think it's definitely going to play a big impact on the race.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. I think even though that the track itself really good for overtaking, those that haven't seen the media day do, because it was a lot of fun to commentate on, but it does help to start further up. I know that obviously goes without saying, but it's more a sense of everyone's going to be battling. Would you rather be stuck in a battle in the back, stuck in the battle at the middle, or stuck in a battle at the front? And your qualifying all sort of depends on that. Yes, you can overtake, but you sort of get stalled around about where you are. On the qualifying grid, already seeing the first set of lap times coming in. You can see Dan Mold, Arthur Thurtle, now goes to pole position on 1:10.3, a very, very respectable lap time for Arthur Thurtle, who is looking to maybe go for that Pro Championship. Dan Mold and Sam Blees only separated by 3/100ths of a second between the two of them. So already, James, we're seeing inklings of what could be a very close and competitive qualifying.
Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be. If you remember the media day, it was amazing, right? There was some, don't get me wrong, obviously, technical issues with whatever, but the racing itself was awesome. And I think that's one of the things these guys have always delivered this year. It goes to show what sort of drivers we've had as well, because we brought the new JPB stewarding system in, and we were trialing it just for the TCRs, because if you're going to get steward complaints, right, it's going to be cars side by side, door banging like the TCRs car. And we actually, to be fair, up until today, this very last race, we've only had 2 protests all season.
That's great. Honestly, that is really good. Because you give people sort of that option to say, if you want to report it, you can. If you don't, then obviously, if you don't feel the need to, then don't. What I love about it is the sense that you don't open the reports right away. You say, let's sleep on it in the morning, then you can go for it. Because the thing is that after a race, everyone is so overcome with emotion and that raw passion. We've all been there, whether you've raced on iRacing, ACCR Factor, whatever it is, right? And you've got hit into, and you're fuming, you're throwing your hands where you're in your little tantrum, and quite frankly, you are really annoyed. But then you calm down a little bit and you think, it's not really worth getting that frustrated over. It is what it is at the end of the day. Things happen. In the moment, yeah, absolutely. You want that driver to probably be black flagged. But then you sleep on it and you think, it's not really worth it, because by the time you file the report and you get all the footage for it and you write up your explanation and blah, 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 it's just not worth it, because you don't even really care at that point. Of course, if it's a major incident and it could affect a championship, absolutely, yeah, do file a report. But I think for the most part, these guys have been very mature, and in all fairness, we haven't had that many incidents themselves to actually have, been reported. So it's been a very clean season, despite the fact these touring cars are very raceable. They've, I'd say, kept it in the limits quite nicely.
Yeah, they have. And that's one of the things I've been so impressed with as well, is the fact that they've done so well. Like, these guys have done amazing, and there's nothing but love for these guys up here in the booth. And, they've done a stellar job, and they've just got to be happy and enjoy what they've done. And I think that's shown already, because the sign-ups for Season 2 only opened yesterday. They opened yesterday, late in the day, and already, we've got 20 cars registered for the grid next season already. And, with still, 2 weeks to go, if you do want to sign up, all I'm going to say to you, please do it now, because I wouldn't want anyone to be disappointed. You can head over to jpbbroadcasting.com there as well. So, yeah, it's been a good season, and it's showing that a lot of people have signed up already, to be fair.
Yeah, I think the success of this initial season, which, fair play, people may have been a little bit skeptical about, that transfer from the SRL to, JPB and things like that. Yes, we did get an influx of drivers from SRL, but also some new guys in, obviously recognizable across the JPB communities and things. But maybe though it wouldn't have been as smooth of a transition, but I think people have seen that it's been very successful. The driving standards have been clean, the championship has been close, the drivers are quick, the challenge is real. So now it's more a case of, let's do it again. 6 weeks. It's that buzz. That's what I love, is that 6 week buzz. It's just week after week after week. Championship is constantly flowing. You're never sort of without it. Like, endurance racing is as great as it is. You've got a month or 2 months between each race, and you get that chance to die down. With the TCRs, it's boom, Friday evening. You need to be on it. You need to be practicing. You need to be quick. Otherwise, you're not going to be anywhere in the championship. But also, what I like about it is that it's only 6 weeks. So if you do have a bad week and you're out of the championship, you ain't really got that long to wait until you can do it all over again. So, it keeps everyone fresh, keeps everyone interested, keeps everyone going. And yeah, I think it's been a fantastic success. We have drawn our way towards the end of qualifying as well. No driver out on circuit as it stands. They've all completed their laps. And Callum Regan has taken pole position right at the end of it. Adam Delmont, though, up there in second place, proving that he's pretty decent in a front-wheel drive car. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he definitely has. There aren't enough superlatives for CRG. He's in the damn mold kind of category of drivers. He can just take a car, do what he needs to do, get it on the grid, and take pole. And he'll just get up and think, there you go. You know what I mean? And it makes me physically sick, to be honest, because I normally have to test for about 2 weeks before I even think about getting into a car. But this is why they're top drivers, Zach, and I don't really drive.
Yeah, that's why we're in the commentary booth.
Exactly.
Arjuna says one thing. He says, those that can't do, teach, and those that can't teach, commentate. That's us, basically. We can't do it, we can't coach it, so we talk about it, because we just about know enough to pass. So we just come in here and we chat rubbish for an hour and a half each evening and enjoy ourselves while we're doing it, which is great. We get to enjoy these guys' talent and kind of be a little bit jealous that we don't have it ourselves. We do just have to wait until qualifying ticks over into the next session to bring you up the grid graphic. But there you can see the running order. Michael Seal, I have to say, and Jess Rakowski, in all fairness as well, have all done a really good job. Michael Hollingworth really mixing up with a couple of pros. But yeah, nice to see that some of the AMs, throughout the season, to be fair, the gap between the pros and the AMs hasn't been that large. No. It's not been a clear divide. The slowest pro is still quicker than the fastest AM. There's still quite a little bit of a merge.
It definitely is. And have you noticed in the AMs is everyone that's got a shot at trying to take that second and third are all here. Jess Rakowski, Kev Eilert, Steve Woodcock are all here. But there's the grid for you, Zach.
Here it is. Callum Regarten takes the final pole of this season in his bid for the Pro Championship. 11 thousandths of a second behind is Adam Dalmont for Next Gen Racing Right to join him on the front row. Sam Blees, Dan Mould, row 2 with Arthur Thurtle needing a win here tonight to round off the championship in 5th. Gavin Gardner joins him on row 3. Michael Seal takes the AM pole position and will be alongside Jamie Dory on row 4 with Alan McCain and Jess Rakowski, the top 10. Stephen Fry, John Brown will keep each other company on the Team SRL. On row 6. Behind that, Hollingworth and Elphick with Kev Eilert, the top 15. Carl Jacklett doing decent, only 1 second off pole, covering the top 16. That is impressive in of itself. Michael Lees, Tom Woodcock keep each other company on row 9 with Scott Malcolm and Jay Corley, the 20-car grid. Jay Corley, of course, the AM champion, swapping cars for this round just to see what he can get. Have a little bit of fun, fielding a new livery potentially as well. So we'll see his progress throughout the duration of a 20-minute race. About to get ourselves underway here in Silverstone for, of course, technically the 3rd time we've done this. 20 minutes of racing action on the clock. Just waiting for 1 or 2 more drivers. Just waiting for Sam Blees and Jay Corley. Then the 5 red lights will come on. James, very quickly, who's coming out on top?
Arthur Thurtle.
Arthur Thurtle. All right, cool. 5th place. I'd say that's a fair shout. I don't think he's going to definitely do too bad of a job. I don't want to go with Callum Regarten because I think that's too easy, but yeah, one of the top 5 for sure. Well, we'll find out in 20 minutes' time. The 5 red lights will come on. It's CRG, it's Delmont, the front row with Blees and Mould in behind. The Pro Championship up for grabs as the JPB TCR Cup is underway for the first of 2 races in Silverstone. That run in towards Abbey, of course, is going to be coming at them quick. It's a fast right-hander, and it's Callum Regarten that leads the way from Delmont and Blees, Mould and Thurtle. The entirety of the top 9, in fact, actually been able to keep position off the opening lap. Stephen Fry getting himself ahead of Jess Rakowski into the first major braking zone of the circuit, though, and there's no major changes between the top 3. A good start from Callum Regarten. And, well, we've still got the right-hander, of course, that leads you onto the back straight. Callum Regarten still able to keep himself in front as Adam Dalmont just trying his absolute best in order to stay into the slipstream. Sam Blees, Dan Mould, Arthur Thurtle. Again, it's all just in that single file run. You can see a couple of people side by side in the background as we run away into Stowe Corner for the first time. Callum Regarten, as it stands, maybe trying to settle into this race quite nicely, and he's been given a pretty good opportunity to do so. Just being able to settle in front of those behind. As through the chicane for the first time, of course, in this opening lap, Callum Regarten has been able to lead the opening lap. Adam Dalmont, Sam Blees, again, will round off the podium, but still plenty of racing to come. It's quite surprising, to be fair, that the opening moments in this race have been so calm. The top 4, you can see a little bit of a breakaway, 1.1 seconds between Dan Mould and Gavin Gardner, and then 6/10 back is Michael Seal, who, to be fair, James, up 1 place in the opening moments in 6th and leading the way in the AMs, but all in all, a pretty decent start.
Yeah, very good run there as well, as we are on lap 2. They've just gone down Chapel, coming down the hanger straight. Michael Seal, the leading AM, of course. Jess Rakowski still in 2nd place. She's got a couple of cars between her and Carl Jacklett. Now, I don't want to have to apologise to Arthur Thurtle, but he's down 6 at the beginning of this race, so he must have got offline. We've had Tom Woodcock take a trip across the grass as well, but at the moment it's all getting very, very tight. You know, it's the last race. Everybody's a little bit excited. Obviously for Jamie Dory, he's driving with one hand.
Yeah, fair play. Quite literally, with one hand tied behind his back. Well, not quite literally, but, well, kind of, yeah. Anyway, he's fighting away with Michael Seal, just doing his own little thing with a broken arm, which is not too bad. I'm sure the force feedback is turned down all the way. Alan McCain actually getting himself into the mix. He's just about able to run side by side with Michael Seal as they emerge from the club chicane, ticking over onto the next lap, and side by side into Abbey. McCain able to seal that position ahead of Michael Seal himself. Jamie Dory, though, despite the fact he's driving with a broken arm, is in 6th place, which I have to say is mightily impressive. Will he be able to keep that over the course of the remaining 17 minutes of the race is another thing entirely. But here you can see, riding on board with Sam Blees, right up the rear end of Adam Dalmont. He's probably going to be eyeing up a move soon.
Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be looking coming down into Stowe as best he can here. I think for Sam Blees, obviously, you know, we know he's missed rounds and he's not been here a lot this season, but I think it's been good for him to come back for this final round. You see CRG's made a mistake. They're going to be 3 wide at one point there, Zach.
Oh, wow, this is really starting to heat up. You can see flying in formation, 2 wide, 2 deep, a side by side for third place. Callum Regarden could well see himself off the podium in the span of just a corner. There goes Sam Blees to the inside of Adam Dalmont for the race lead through the club corner to round off the next lap, close to contact as the car behind the second place car, of course, of Adam Dalmont, as it was at the time, now leading the way, comes back onto the track side by side through Abbey Corner, and Sam Blees has the inside. Adam Dalmont keeps his foot in though all the way around the outside. Callum Regarden trying to get himself back into the mix to take the lead into Village. They're going to be 3 wide on the braking zone, and Callum Regarden soars his way to the outside, but tyre smoke is kicked up as he's off the road, tumbling down the timing order. A huge mistake from CRG, but he's able to keep it pointing the right way, and that could have been massive. Thankfully, he was actually able to keep it fairly under wraps. Let's take another look. Just a small bit of contact in the braking zone, but he held it well.
Yeah, he definitely did. He just did a pure Tokyo drift style. He lost a place to obviously Dan Mould and Sam Blees as well. So we're going to have to see how now CRG makes his way back up. We've seen him before. I would sit here and say over the next 15 minutes he's got no hope. But I think I'm writing my own death wish then, because he's just pulled out 2 attempts over the guys in front, which is Gavin Gardner, Sam Blees, Dan Mould and Adam Dalmont. Now, I do have to apologise because my information was a little bit awry earlier on regarding Sam Blees as well. So he has been here for more than the races I thought he had. I thought he'd missed a couple. He has. This is only his 3rd one, so he missed half of the races this season.
Oh, well, there we go. Still, half is half, and as long as he's been enjoying himself, I suppose it doesn't matter. And to be fair, his pace is pretty good. 5.2 KI rating. Not bad at all. Very quick driver. Fighting in the podium as it stands. Qualified 3rd is 3rd. Callum Regarden, though, do not count him out. After that mistake, he is still in that lead fight. Only 3/4 of a second back on Gavin Gardner, who we follow on right now. He is trying to find his way past Sam Blees, but just these guys. I suppose, with it being the media day, well, it was the media day 6 weeks ago, and now the finale here at Silverstone, those are 2 scenarios where everyone is fully excited, fully pumped up and fully motivated, which I think has really added to the atmosphere here in Silverstone. Gavin Gardner looking to add potentially to his podium tally, but not quite close enough to go for a move on that particular occasion. But yeah, Silverstone, it's had all of the right ingredients for good racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to pick up down here. Jess Rakowski has just lost a position to Carl Jacklett in the AMS. Carl now in 2nd, Rakowski in 3rd. She's only got 1 car between her and Kev Eilert. You can see them there, and that's Michael Leakes here once more. If you look on the left-hand side, you see that wonderful gold livery of Jay Corley, who's obviously changed it into the Veloster for this race, partly because obviously he wrapped it up and he's put a nice sparkling gold livery on. But Michael Lees, I think, for Rakowski's now, Lees and a battle with Kev Eilert there. And Eilert did just give him a little bump, but this could, I'll keep an eye on this AM battle, because I think this is going to be a very interesting one as well.
Oh, well, definitely be. I mean, again, pros, AMs, overall, no matter what it is, the fighting has been close. And you can see that with how many yellow and orange gaps there are on the timing tower. Very few any bigger than a second, and if they are, it's probably because of a spin or something crazy like these individual battles costing them so much time. But it's amazing to see as we're 7 minutes into a 20-minute race 1. Look at that potential run from Kev Eilert, looking to go to the left-hand side of Michael Lees. He's going to be late on the brakes, so he's got to be late on the brakes. Unfortunately, not quite. He gets given the space, so that's really wide, and through goes Eilert. Michael Lees just too deep into the chicane there, and it cost him.
Oh, Corley and Malcolm.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, he didn't have a choice. He did not have a choice. Watch. I don't know where it come from. I don't know if Malcolm come across him here, but Corley went to nip up the inside, and watch as they go around the club. So, unfortunately, yeah, not ideal. Jay Corley had made up 4 positions as well, but back up front, please, still going with Gardner here once more. CRG now also right on the back of Gardner, so it's going to be an interesting finale, I think.
Yeah, I'd say for Corley, he knew at that point that It was Scott Malcolm, he went up the inside, right?
Yeah. Jay Corley went up the inside of Scott Malcolm, yeah.
Yeah. So TCR's not got a ton of downforce, and as you're coming off the right-hander of the second part of Vale, essentially you don't really stop turning until you get to the apex of club, and then you start straightening out. If you're going to send a move, why would you do it into a corner that you know the driver has essentially already committed at? In F1s, absolutely, because they have the capability to turn out of the corner. TCRs don't really do that. So I would say race and incident maybe at best, but I'd say Jay Corley definitely had more of a part to play in avoiding that, and unfortunately finds himself back exactly where he started, at rock bottom. But still, with half the race left to go, could he find himself maybe getting himself back ahead of Tom Woodcock, maybe John Brown, anyone really like that potentially. It's going to be a tough ask, but still, race 2 to go again. Fortunately for him, it's not going to cost him a championship, so I'm sure he's not overly fussed anyway.
Michael Lees having a battle with Kev Eilert here. Kev Eilert in the AM fight, of course. He needs to clear Rakowski. His nearest rival in the championship, Woodcock, is down there. So if Rakowski finishes ahead of Woodcock this time around, she will go into that 3rd place. Now, I've got all the scores written down. I'm going to try and do some wonderful maths in the process. Bear with me, okay? I will try and do my hardest.
Yes, he does that. Oh, that's so close to going round. Front wheel drive save as Mikael Lees gets the up and under thanks to that mistake from Kev Eilert into club corner. That's how it's done without a spin. Running a little bit wide on the exit, but not off the track, so it's all good. A bit of a mistake then from Eilert, and, well, it just allowed Mikael Lees to say cheers, mate. Through he went. Up now into 14th place. +3 on where Mikael Lees originally started. The fight at the front between Delmont and Mold is only 0.7 of a second, so something to definitely keep our eye on as the race progresses, of which we are now into the second half of. James, I have to say, it has flown by because, well, these guys have kept us on our toes.
Yeah, exactly. We've had these front battles, these midfield battles, and these rear battles, and we got another battle going on down here as Fraser Elphick here once more, battling with Stephen Fry. They're less than basically about 2 tenths apart at the moment, one of the closest battle on track. As you can see, Elphick just about to go up, or try to go up the inside of Al. Didn't make it this time. You know, it'll be interesting to see what Fraser does, whether or not he plays the waiting game. As we say, it can work sometimes, but if he wants onto the back of Arthur Fertile, it's going to be tough. And for Arthur Fertile, he's not had a good race 1. He has not had a good race 1. Don't forget top 15 for race 2. And at the moment, it's Kev Eilert, Michael Lees are going to be on your front row as Elphick does put it up the inside of Stephen Fry.
He does, and he seals the deal, I think, unless Fry's going to chuck the move to the inside of the left. He is, to be fair, on what would usually be the loop. Not really much of a loop now. It's more just trying to keep your foot planted as you emerge on what would be Chapel Curve, and then your way through the hanger straight, slightly uphill towards Stowe. Fraser Elphick finds himself up now inside the top 10, but Stephen Fry not going to give it up without a fight whatsoever. So, yeah. Plenty to indulge in, and yeah, unfortunate for Arthur Thurtle in terms of the Pro Championship. He would definitely be wanting a little bit more. Here you can see Jess Rakowski trying to move her way past Kyle Jacklett in order to further her points tally. She has got a decent run here, the 999 machine. And, well, she's going to be looking to go to the right-hand side later on the brakes relative to Kyle Jacklett, who is going to fight this one through the inside, becomes the outside for the next part, swoops across, takes the apex, and, well, leaves Rakowski in the dusk.
Yeah, definitely, and we know that Kyle Jacklett's not the easiest machine to take over, right? You know, we've seen him in other series, MX-5s, Clios. He is, you know, for some reason, when you get up behind Kyle Jacklett, then Kyle's just become double in width. And he's always puts up a good fight. For Rakowski, she's going to have to try and set him up. She's going to have to try and set him up one way or another, somewhere on track. She's going to have to fake a dummy, fake something, get him in where she needs him. Because trying to rely on Kyle Jacklett to go where you want him to go, Kyle reminds me of a puppy. He just goes wherever he wants, and he will make it as difficult as possible.
Yeah. That's an interesting analogy, I suppose. In the regards of just being wherever he needs to be, I'd call him more of a tank, in all honesty. And those are two very vastly different things.
See, this is
puppy
the thing.
tank puppy.
Yeah, he just doesn't do as he's told. Or Carl Jacklett.
A tank with fluffy ears.
Yeah, you associate a puppy who's just runs riot, chews everything, messes on the floor, doesn't listen to any orders or follows the rules, and that's what Carl Jacklett does. I don't think he messes on his floor, but he just doesn't follow the rules and makes it as difficult as for people to get through as possible. Look, that's what I mean. He put a squeeze on Rakowski going into that corner, and she had nowhere to go.
She did not. She just basically said, I have to back out. And what it's done is brought Mikkel Lees into the fight. Now she's going to be the one that has to keep her footing on the outside, becomes the inside for the next left, and might well see her be able to get the advantage going into Chapel, but it's not. Mikkel Lees picks his way past. Of course, no loss to Jess Rakowski in that regard. She will still be scoring the same amount of points for the AMs, but she does still need to get past Carl Jacklett to sort of get more points. She's on the back of Mikkel Lees into the final 6 minutes of this race. Should translate into around probably about 5 more laps to go, as Rakowski really pushing the car, you can see, on its limit and, well, over the track's limit. Fastest lap, by the way, for Callum Reed-Gardner, 109.434 on that previous lap, showcasing he has definitely got the pace. Jess Rakowski, though, tumbling down this order. Once she lost one place, she's losing them all.
Yeah, I think panic set in, and it's not easy either. When you've got drivers around you and you're a bit more relaxed because you know who you're fighting, and then all of a sudden you've got a pro comes into the mix who wants to get past you as quick as possible, and at times, sometimes, possibly other times, it might not always be clean, but for Rakowski, it's just getting back into that flow, getting back into that rhythm. And you can see she's maintaining that gap, even maybe opening it up a little bit, and is maintaining now, getting back in as well. It's just all about flow. But one man that is flowing at the moment is Alan McCain with Arthur Ferdle behind him.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. Alan McCain up there in 7th, was one of only, I think, 3 drivers in the end of last season for the SRL to get more than a win. He was only the probably one driver to get into it was either 2 or 3 wins, so he definitely knows his way around some touring cars. He's definitely a very quick driver in his own right, and as it stands is proving that by being inside the top 10 in a very competitive field. And it's look at it, we look at 7th place as well, might well be 8th as Arthur Ferdle sends the move to the inside, and you can see McCain going to keep his foot in again, try and hang it the long way round, brings it back to the inside for the next left. They are going to run side by side, but the outside momentum, but Arthur Ferdle sees him get himself ahead of Alan McCain. But for these two, compare it to maybe where they could be on sort of the podium or fighting for wins, and you think, oh, 7th and 8th, it's not really that great, but in a grid this good, it really is. And they're squabbling amongst themselves. McCain not quite close enough to relinquish that place, reclaim that place, I suppose I should say, up into 7th. But, in a caliber of field like this, 7th and 8th isn't bad.
No, it's definitely not. And it would have been interesting to see with Arthur as well, because this is going to be his 5th round of the season. Now, obviously, he missed last week because he was away, I think, as well. He's sitting in 7th in the championship, and he's got an opportunity to possibly get a top 3 once the drop weeks kick in after this one. So, at the end of the day, for Arthur, it just kind of makes you wonder what could have been. Do you know what I mean? What could have been for Arthur? If he got points last week, he might not have even got anywhere near. It's just, just an interesting thing as well, I think. One of the things I did learn about Arthur Ferdle the other day, actually, and he did tell me as well, he did say to me, I got to try and find it, he said, a little fact for you, if I can finish in the top 3 in the TCR league, he'd have gotten a podium in all the cars that JPB have run. So that's the GT4s, the TCRs, and the Clios, of course, in season 1. And then he did put underneath, but none one of them. So, hey, 3 podiums is better than none, isn't it? Right? You know what I mean? 3 podiums at all after the season ends.
Versatility. You don't necessarily need to win in one. You got on the podium all of them, which, I don't know, I'd argue that's maybe more impressive, to be fair.
It just goes to show how good he is.
Yeah. Front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, different driving styles, different tracks, different drivers. You know, it takes a lot to be able to succeed in all of that, and also as well to remain consistent in all of those championships is easier said than done, because you've got different drivers again, things can go wrong, you've got essentially more races for things to go wrong as well. So to remain that level of consistency, very impressive from Parfitt. So I'm sure he should be, well, he should definitely be very pleased with himself. 2 minutes to go, or just under, about 1 minute and 45 seconds until the checkered flag drops, and Adam Dalmont or Dan Mould could well win this first race of the evening. Of course, we do remind you, we've got 2 top 15 reverse going into an extra 20 minutes of race 2, and then we will crown our pro champion and then round off the first season of the JPB TCR Cup. You can see under a little bit of pressure, Gavin Gardner from Callum Regarton there as they're about to start the penultimate lap of this race. 2 to go at the line. And, well, then we'll see, well, after this one, we'll see Barney the flagman wave the white flag. Then, of course, it'll be the checkered. Gavin Gardner, though, on the back of Sam Blees for the podium, while Callum Regarton is hungry to find his way back past. Gavin Gardner, he's stuck sort of between a rock and a hard place. He wants to go forward, but also wants to stop himself from going back, as Callum Regarton really trying to make that sooner rather than later. Sends the move in towards turn number 3. Gavin Gardner keeps his foot in once more on the outside of Village, and now CRG forced to back out of that one, but a good effort.
Yeah, I think he gave it a good go, did CRG. He gave it a stellar job. You know, in that Subolt Hyundai he's in at the moment, and I don't think that's going to be the first time or the last time he will have a go over these next 2 laps. He will go in and he will try hard. He knows he needs the points. Fertel and Dory side by side here. Zach around Stowe running down into Vale. The left-right, of course, before they head out through Club. There he goes. Fertel's going to come up the inside. They're going to be too wide round the corner now. JB Dory is going to manage to hang on, but I think Turtle's looking quick at this moment in time. He's bounced the curb here, so let's see what goes on once there as well. See what goes on. Arthur Fertel running out side by side down through Abbey they go on their way through Farm here, and Jamie Dory and Arthur Fertel having a stellar job there. So a great job there from all of them, Zach as well. But Jamie Dory does just still manage to hang on, but I don't think Fertel or CRG is probably done in the moves for this final lap.
I don't think so either. Half a lap left to go, by the way, in the final lap. Adam Dalmont, Dan Mould, half a second between the two of them on that run to the checkered flag. Who's it going to be? Who's going to take the victory? We'll find out in about 15 seconds time maybe. Arthur Fertel looking to go to the inside of Stowe corner. There he is, though, the man himself. A little bit up further forward, Gavin Gardner. Callum Regarton trying to go for the late move. He's on the right-hand side. He's late on the brakes. He's going to swoop his way around the outside, going through the Vale chicane. Beautiful stuff as across the line, Adam Dalmont flashes the headlights. It's a win for the final race one of the season. As, oh my goodness me, a huge crash going through Club Corner. Smoke from the engine and everything. As now the run to the line, Adam McKay and Fraser Elphick side by side for what is now 6th place. Huge incident between Gavin Gardner and Callum Regarton in the closing stages of this race. That is a massive off. Hopefully we can take another look at that, because we just saw the worst end of it.
Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm just trying to find out where it started and how. Nope. Gonna have to try and do something fancy here. This,
there we go.
This is it, I think. They got
CRG, I'd say.
They got hooked up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, they did indeed.
Okay, so now we've
That's
moved
a shame.
on. Yeah, it was a shame. But they got hooked up, and unfortunately, that's what the situation was. But let's bring in the results up for you there, Zach, as well.
Yeah, 20 minutes of racing, and it saw Adam Dalmont taking the victory. Dan Mould, Sam Blees joining him on the podium with Jamie Dory and Arthur Fertel, a late top 5 finish for him. Then comes Adam McCain and Fraser Elphick fighting across the line for 6th and 7th. Michael Seal takes the win for the AMS, with Stephen Fry and Carl Jacklet hanging on ahead of Jess Rakowski to take the final place inside the top 10. Kay Vaylor just inside to make it 4th place in the AMS, with Michael Lee, Scott Malcolm and Michael Hollingworth 15th place overall. John Brown, Tom Woodcock in 16th and 17th. Behind that, of course, Jay Quali, who finished last, and then the two retirees of Gavin Gardner and Callum Reed-Garton were unable to make it to the checkered flag, despite being about 50 metres away from it. A late crash between the two of them sees them round off the field. Michael Hollingworth will take pole position for race 2, though, James, and I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
It definitely is. But guys, we're going to have a little break and just show you what's coming up.
Well, welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure you are as excited as we are for the JPB TCR American Cup. We take to 10 tracks across North America, the majority of it in the USA, but you saw there the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, best known as Motorsport, really, being there on the 10-week calendar. It should be amazing. We'll be taking part in 2 weeks' time. So we've got a week break, and then we're back again for 10 consecutive weeks of racing action. Should be myself, Zach Sweeney, and James Parfitt talking you through that as well. But we're here today in Silverstone, round 6, and the finale of season number 1. We've already seen race 1 in the books. Adam Delmont taking the victory ahead of Dan Mould and Sam Blees. What's to come in the top 15 reverse race here for race number 2. There you can see the results, only half a second in the fight for the lead in the end. Also seeing a late shunt between Gavin Gardner and Callum Reed-Garton, effectively ruining his championship hopes, which hands the baton potentially to Dan Mould to take yet another touring car championship to his name. James, what do we expect maybe for race 2 coming up? Yeah, should be a good one. Again, I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. I mean, we've got CLG, Gavin Gardner and Jay Quali all at the back. So looking out for them to fight their way through. Also, let us know what you think about Season 2 of the JPB TCR Cup. Of course, as you say, we take a tour to the Americas. So what do you think? Also, definitely not too late to get yourself signed up. If you head over to the JPB website, you can sign yourself up by adding it to your cart and signing up that way. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Make sure you do it as soon as possible if you are intending to. I would recommend doing it. It'd be nice to see you all on the grid. A reminder of the next season's calendar. We go to Sonoma, Laguna Seca, Mosport, Cota, and the Skip Barber Raceway for race 5. Watkins Glen, Virginia, Lime Rock, Road Atlanta, and the Daytona Road Course for round 10. 15-minute quali, they get 20 minutes for race 1, 30 minutes now for race 2, and then of course we round off the evening with the good old chats with the drivers. So yeah, plenty to look forward to in a couple of weeks' time. As I say, get yourself involved if you do like driving some TCRs. If you don't, suck it up. Get yourself involved anyway, because you'll learn, you'll have a great time, and we'll be able to enjoy you on the broadcast. Here's the grid though for race 2. Michael Hollingworth, Scott Malcolm the front row with Mikkel Lees and Kev Aylett row 2. Jess Rakowski on her bid for potentially 3rd place in the AM Championship. 5th with Carl Jacklett now behind her alongside on row 3. Stephen Fry, Michael Seal after winning the AMs is 8th. Fraser Elphick and Alan McCain the top 10, with Thurtle and Dory in behind 11th and 12th. Beyond that, we have got the likes of Sam Blees and Dan Mould and Adam Delmont, of course, those that took the top places in race number 1. And then John Brown, Tom Woodcock, Jay Corley, Gavin Gardner and Callum Regarton at the final of those that finished in the order of race 1. Of course, if you didn't get inside the top 15, it's where you finished in race 1. Unfortunately for these guys, they were unable to make the cut for that reverse grid, which is a shame because, again, the gaps can be very, very small in the end. But we're about to get ourselves underway for the final race of this season. A good start from pole position from Michael Hollingworth, but an even better one potentially from Mikael Lees in that Audi RS3, already trying to pull alongside Scott Malcolm as they run their way in towards turn number 1. Very, very close in that fight for the lead. In fact, it is actually going to be Scott Malcolm chucking the move to the inside through turn 2 and into 3. The DeWalt liveried car, of course, power tools from DeWalt, and powering his way at the front is Michael Hollingworth. Side by side in behind, though, as Malcolm and Lees battle over second place through into what is usually the loop, and 3 wide a little bit further back as well. Absolute carnage in the opening moments. Callum Regarton up 4 places already in the opening carnage. He's trying to make it 5 as he's side by side with his rival of Dan Mould. Sam Blees as well, a little bit slow off the exit of Chapel and losing potentially a couple of places. And, well, behind now Callum Regarton, who makes it 5 places. Changes up and down as they rise their way up in towards Stowe Corner. Ducking, diving, searching for some gaps here as outside run there. That's Carl Jacklett trying to go to the outside wherever he can. That's probably the safer option, but look at that, 3 wide, making it even potentially 4 wide. Surely this isn't going to end well. It's Jess Rakowski, a huge off, and it's bowling into the gravel of Vale. That's not the way we want to start this race, James.
No, but I've got a funny feeling Rakowski may have been a little bit of an innocent part. She gets all a little bit loose and it balances off. And then she's just kind of between her, Mikael Lees, Jamie Dory, Arthur Fertile, Stephen Fry. It's, Dory, Thurtle, McCain, Rakowski, and obviously Lisa as well. It all got a little bit scrappy there once more. I have got a point update really quickly. Dan Mould currently, as it stands, he's out in front on 267, CRG on 232, Gavin Gardner on 248. So at the moment it's a Mould, Gardner, CRG. In the AMS we've got Wood and Woodcock and Rakowski are actually tied on 228, and Kev Eilett's on 255. So we'll have to see how it all keeps going here as well. But that definitely did get a little bit messy once more.
Yeah, a little bit scrappy, but, well, it's TCRs, it's an open lap, it's the final race of the season. What more do we really expect? Mikael Lees on the inside, once more on Callum Regarton, who is going to go late on the brakes into the Vale chicane. Is he going to be able to keep his nose in? No. So he's going to set up a double up and under. Thinks better of it, or does he? He's thinking about it. I wouldn't squeeze your nose in that gap. He's going to just be going for it, hoping that he's got the run into turn number 1, and has actually timed it to perfection on the inside. Callum Regarton up 12 places now. Not quite able to make it at the unlucky 13, but he might well be able to if he's brave on the brakes into 3. Mikael Lees going defensive. Does he bring it over to the racing line? He does, in order to squeeze the driver with now 7k iRating. He is flying as up ahead of them Fraser Elphick, Kev Aylett as well, battling away just ahead. But Mikael Lees is being able to he found himself ahead of Kev Aylett and just picked his way through the carnage. This is a fight as well for second place. Stephen Fry on the back of Scott Malcolm.
Yeah, he is at the moment. I'm getting a lot of messages on YouTube about James, I'm muted, I can't hear you. I haven't said anything until just then. Zach's been carrying the broadcast as best he can to help me out with my voice. So I've just had another message as well from John O'Cook. James, you're muted. I've not really said anything since the warm-up. So at the end of the day, look, I hope you can hear me now, and apologies if you haven't been able to. I'm not quite sure what is going on. I didn't actually think I'd said anything during the warm-up period anyway, and Zach's done a lot of lifting for me here. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting now, because we've got Mould and CRG together. Mould ties up with Michael Lees there, and now for Lees he's got Adam Delmont coming through. I think the thing is this battle here with Lees as well. Lees is quite an aggressive driver and doesn't give quarter. You know, if you got captured by him out in the sea like an open pirate, he isn't going to call you parlay. He's going to, probably chop your head off. So it's an interesting one to see how these guys get on, and I think it's going to be very exciting here.
Definitely agree. We've also got 3 Scots inside the top 5. Hollingworth, Malcolm and Elphick all battling away. Michael Seal, though, doing a brilliant job. Same to be fair, Scott, Malcolm and Hollingworth. 3 of the top 4 are Rams. Stephen Fry, the only pro in the mix, which is incredibly impressive. There is Seal, close to contact with Scott Malcolm, who nearly ran into the back of him, but able to keep his nose out of trouble. Callum Regarton as well, only 2 seconds off the back of this fight as well. We're 5 minutes through this 20-minute race, still 15 minutes to go. And Michael Hollingworth is making the most of this situation, building that gap, now 1.5 seconds clear of the rest. If he can well, he's going to be hoping that these guys battle for laps to come, so he can bridge a nice little gap and take an easy win.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for Hollingworth, but have you seen the 2, I don't know what to call them, snipers, gladiators? Who knows what we can put these 2 into this category? Look at CRG and look at Dan Mould, or I think it was like DPJ or whatever he wanted to be called the other week as well. A little bit bizarre here. And they, they're battling away and they followed each other through the order. They're both up 7. Well, Dan Mould's up 7, CRG's up 14. Fraser Elphick has just cleared Scott Malcolm. Scott's given it as good as he gets. Michael Seal, who we again have seen this season, he's been a lot quicker than I think his label, or not label, his class position gives him. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit worried for Michael Hollingworth, only because of the fact that, yes, he's got a gap, but if you look his gap back to Mould and Garton, it's only 3.3 seconds. And these guys last time around, Reed Garton on a 109.58, Michael Hollingworth on a 110.87, so it was a lot quicker there as well. Zach asked you a question and you didn't answer. Oh.
Probably a bad question then, to be fair.
Well, could well be, to be honest, or, in my current state of unhealthiness, I probably did hear him, to be honest. But there we go. The interesting one so far.
Yeah, it has been. It's been an alright pair of races. Hollingworth having a couple of issues maybe with internet or whatever. He's just blipping in and out of existence.
Just see it. Yeah, I'm staying off him at the moment because it has caused sometimes broadcasts to crash when you're on an internet spiker, as Michael Hollingworth is now as well. Unfortunately for Rakowski, she is out. So that's going to be the end of Rakowski's push for third, I think.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. It's a shame because she's had a really good season. Again, really impressive stuff. That's a fight in the background as well. That's Scott Malcolm on the back of Dan Mould, following Michael Seal and his pursuit of maybe the win overall. What a way to round off the season that would be. That would be absolutely insane if we had an AM taking the overall win. As it stands, we've got 2 AMs on the podium. So, well, that's probably an even weirder thing. What have we got? We've just got 12 minutes 20 seconds left to go. Well, we've got a 4-way fight for the lead, as that's slow off the back of Michael Hollingworth. So Stephen Fry and Michael Seal just see his mate and just freight train him in that fight towards Stowe Corner. Is Michael Seal going to start that bid for the race lead, or is he happy to sit behind Stephen Fry? I think he might well be. So Hollingworth gone from the lead to 4th place in the span of 1 straight. Did he get a slowdown?
He must have done, yeah, as well. We've just heard from Jess Rakowski. Her VR crashed.
Ouch.
Right at that point when we saw her go from right to left, and it looked a little bit random. Yeah, that's why, unfortunately, Jess Rakowski's VR crashed. Which, it is what it is for her. It's the modern day of live racing and internet racing. These are the problems that we have to deal with. But everybody else involved, for the likes of Arthur Feltel and that, yeah, probably not so much as Fraser Elphick just goes up the inside of Michael Seal.
Yeah, he does indeed. That is a shame, but I suppose it is the equivalent of your gearbox failing or your engine blowing up in real life. Not that that can't happen in the sim, because it can, but sort of in that vein of just random technical issues. Your VR crashed, which happens. Seal as well, picking himself up a slowdown, losing a couple of places, finds himself side by side with the multiple-time champion of Dan Mould, who goes to the outside. And of course, for those of you confused as to why I'm saying champion, because he is, it's just not JPB, because yeah, you might have just joined us for season 1. SRL was before this, and there were around 6 seasons of that, of which Gary Craig is the reigning one. Dan Mold has taken multiple of them, so still got that history to keep in mind as Mikael Lees tries to saw his way very cheekily around the outside of Scott Malcolm. It's actually worked out for him as he's on the inside. Bit of a ding-dong fight as they run their way now in through Club over the sausage curb nearly for Mikael Lees, but he's still side by side with the Scotsman, who's looking very impressive, trying to go the long way around into Abbey, but you can see that Mikael Lees just very easily picks his way up on the inside, and then you've also got Gavin Gardner also in the fight, queuing up behind Scott Malcolm, waiting for their chance. Michael Hollingworth is the first to initiate the fight, though, inside line through turn 3, and Scott Malcolm tries to keep his footing on the outside once more, going the long way around, inside for the next left, and then the outside for Chapel Curve, which does give the advantage to Scott Malcolm, allows him to take 10th place in this race.
Yeah, it does. I'm at to jump back up front. Look who's 3rd and 4th. Callum Regarton and Dan Mould. Obviously, CRG is now going to go through on Fraser Elphick, and I think Dan Mould's not going to be very far behind him here. But it just goes to show when you're pacey, you're pacey. You know, they're up technically between them 28 positions they've gained between the two of them. So it just goes to show how unbelievably and undeniably quick these are here as well. And CRG and anybody else behind him, Dan Mould's got to clear Fraser Elphick as soon as possible. But it's going to be interesting to see how long CRG takes to get past Stephen Fry. So, it's going to be very interesting. But you can see down there from about 9th down to 14th. They're nearly less than a second apart there down that part. So we will jump down there in a minute. I just want to see if CRG gets past Stephen Fry.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I'd say it's probably a matter of if as opposed to a matter of when. Well, no, a matter of when as opposed to a matter of if, I should say. The other way around. Yeah, there we go. No offense to Stephen Fry, it's just CRG is a monster. And especially after the crash of race 1, is going to be hungry for a win. Is he going to look to the inside for Stowe? He is. He's going to get the lead very easily, I'm sure. Stephen Fry not really got much for contest around the outside, although be it maybe getting the up and under. There is, though, Fraser Elphick giving Dan Mould a good little bit of a fight down the hill in towards the Vale chicane. He's on the inside. Dan Mould, of course, forced to go the long way round. He's got to keep the agility of the car in check. Michael Seal nearly smacking into the back of him. He's all over the rear end of the SRL liveried car. Of course, the SRL Emerald, very dubbly named. You can see the green. Ruby is, of course, red. Sapphire, of course, going for blue. Do like that touch from the SRL guys. Nice stuff. They're fighting their way, of course, for not only the Pro Championship, but also a good fight for second in the Pro teams as well. The SRL guys, they've actually locked out 3rd and 4th. It's next gen in the Pro teams, 1st and 2nd, and then you've then also in the AMs got the JPB cars fighting for 2nd place in those respective teams championships. So lots of championship battles to try and keep ourselves up with. But Dan Mould, I'm sure his main focus, doesn't really care about the team's championship too much. He's going for his own Pro win, and he's on the inside of Fraser Elphick to extend or gain some more points from this race, because he's not really got that long left to do it. Inside line through Stowe Corner, he picks himself up back onto the podium. Bit of a tap from behind though. Fraser Elphick not giving it up too easily.
No, Elphick's not rolling over. He's definitely not at the moment. Elphick doesn't need Dan Mould's hand on his belly, giving him a little rub here, and he's, Fraser rolls over, because he's definitely giving him a good old go. Elphick is still managing to put the fight up the back of Dan Mould at the moment. I've got a funny feeling that from Stephen Fry is what either he got the car loose or he's nursing a slowdown here, because he is going very, very slower than where he should be, and at the moment he's now going to have Dan Mould behind him. Arthur Ferdle is battling away with Michael Lees here, so we'll see what happens in this. He's got another second to gain to get up to Gavin Gardner, but you can see at the moment Adam Dalmont is also into this battle with Stephen Fry and Fraser Elphick, and now Dan Mould is on his way after Callum Regarton. Can he catch him? That's going to be the question.
It is. It's a very important question, of which, as I say, we've only got 6 minutes to answer. So time is ticking, boys. Opportunities are wearing thin. You can see Adam Dalmont trying to pick his way past Stephen Fry, but not quite able to. The next-gen car, of course, a brilliant liveried car. Very quick car as well, Adam Dalmont. He's rapid in front-wheel drive. You might recognise him from the Clio. He's taking the fight to Pete Newman. He's now taking the fight to Stephen Fry, who is not backing down. Adam Dalmont a race 1 winner is going to have to try a little bit harder than that. Up 10 places, of course, starting 15th after the reverse grid. Off the road, though, Mikel Lees, is he still in the race? No, I think he's had a disconnect to pit lane.
Yeah, there might not have been a disconnect involved in this. I'm wondering how much he did here. Well, whoa! Okay.
That's something.
Something. And what?
So he's still got control of his wheel because he stopped and steered. What?
I can't answer the question, I'm afraid, but I'm also not going to worry too much there either, with Stephen Fry and Adam Dalmont side by side now going down into Stowe. And Adam Dalmont, is he going to get the nose of that Honda in front? He is. He's a Honda man through and through, was the only one fighting for the Honda in the chat earlier on. They were having a good old conversation about cars here, because we've got a lot of new people coming into season 2. So they were having a good old conversation, and then they were talking about cars, and Adam Dalmont was rooting for the Honda because he just loves the Honda. So, you know, I think the car depends on the person behind the wheel, young Zach.
Yeah, 100%. Again, you can't really... I mean, obviously, different chassis are going to be quicker than others, potentially. The same driver might go quicker in the Audi or the Honda or whatever. And there might well be, the Audi is the quickest car. But if you're not quick in the Audi, then it's not the quickest car, is it? If you're quickest in the Honda, go in the Honda. You're going to be able to extract the most amount of potential out of it in the car you're most comfortable in, not what the car everyone else says is quickest. If you can adapt to it and get your driving style up to speed, fantastic, that's great. But if you can't, don't stress. Just get in the car that you feel comfortable in, because that's going to be the one that you succeed in. And, you know, you don't dread driving. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to breathe. Sam Blees as well, finding himself comfortably ahead of Stephen Fry up into 5th. But yeah, just choose the car you feel best with. Don't be mixing and matching, trying to find one that works for you. Get into practice sessions, set the car up, and off you go. Michael Seal on the back of Stephen Fry as well. He gets front row seat to this fight for 5th. I have to say, really impressed with the AMs in this race.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting for Quali as well, because Jay is up 6 places at the moment. We know he's in the Veloster there as well, so he's obviously come away from a Honda. He did say again that he was a Honda boy. He's Honda born and bred, so maybe he's just trying something a little bit different from the final race of the season. And he's again done a great job. You know, yeah, race 1 didn't quite turn out probably even Jay would want to expect. But I think overall, you know, he's had a great season. He's taken the AM win. He's done an absolutely stellar job, and there's no words for how consistent he's done. Now, the problem is for Jay is obviously next season. He's already joined season 2. As we say, seasons are open, so you can get yourselves involved. jpbbroadcasting.com. Hover over the league tag, and it says join a league, and then just follow the instructions through. He's going to go up to the pros because obviously automatic promotion. So fortunately for Jay Corley, can he mix it up within the pros as he has done so well in the AMs?
We'll see. I think it's worth it for him to give it a go. Again, you can only improve if you're around people that are better than you. You learn more from your losses than you do your wins. Not to say that he hasn't learned anything from his wins, but if someone's quicker than you and you follow them and you see why, then you go quicker and you improve because you see them go quicker. So not only do you sort of physically just know how to improve, but also you force yourself to improve because that's how you succeed. It's either you get better or you don't do well. It's that very much that sink or swim mentality that really motivates drivers to get better. So for Jay Corley, I'm sure it will be a new challenge, a fun one to embark on, and one that he definitely, I could see him picking up a couple of podiums for sure in the pros. Maybe not the championship straight away. Maybe when we get back for season 3, then maybe he could be going for championships. But give him a season to bed in amongst the pros, get used to how they do things, and then I'm sure he'll be absolutely flying. We're about to start the penultimate lap of this race. Are we? Are we going to start the penultimate lap of this race?
I'm looking now because he crossed the line at 108, and at the moment, Barney is just stood there. So I think there's going to be one and one more. It depends on what CRG does. and how slow he wants to go. Now, us saying that CRG will go slow probably isn't going to happen here, Zach. So I think this could be one more, but again, it's going to be close. It's one of them races where me and you don't have a clue, because it happened the other week, didn't it? And neither of us knew what was going on.
Well, that's all the time anyway. But when it comes to the checker flag, that is also true. Very true. But yeah, when it comes to checker flags, we also don't really know what we're talking about there, because our racing is a little bit funny. But yeah, CRG probably could just lift off, lose a second and take the flag, or he can just parade round and take the win. He's had an evening of 2 extremes, dead last, and a win for CRG. Through the Welsh chicane for the final time. It is going to be the checker flag you can see in the top left. He's going to make it, and it's going to be a victory. The final race of the JPB TCR Cup here in Silverstone, round number 6, race 2, goes the way of Callum Regarden, who isn't good enough for the championship. Dan Mould across the line in second will probably be the one that takes the championship. Michael Seal wins in the AMs once more. It's not the championship though, of course. That went last week to Jay Quali, but Michael Seal has been on fire this evening. And well, what a race it has been. These drivers and teams are immense. These cars are immense. This season has been immense. It's been so thoroughly enjoyable. I'm sad to see it end, but again, if you are to join us 2 weeks time, we get to start all over again for another 10 weeks, so I suppose it's not really too much to be sad about. Cool. Thank you very much. The results. Thank you very much. It's all good. It's all good. Race number 2, the final race of the season, goes the way. Callum Regarden, Dan Mould, the provisional champion, the suspected champion in second. Fraser Elphick rounds off the podium with Adam Delmont making it 2 top 5 finishes and a win for the final round of the season. Sam Blees the top 5 with Stephen Fry and Michael Seal the AM win. Gavin Gardner, Arthur Thurl, Alan McCain the top 10 with Scott Malcolm and Jay Corley just in behind. Then comes John Brown, Jacklett and Woodcock the top 15. Kev Aylett, Michael Hollingworth, unfortunately from pole position, only managing 17th place. Jamie Dory, Mikael Lees and Jess Rakowski, unfortunately not the best races for them in 18th, 19th and 20th respectively. What an evening of racing it was. We're waiting for James to get back to us with the final AM standings. Of course, we already know that Jay Corley won it, but a tight fight in the fight for second. We had 3 different drivers battling away. Could well throw in a couple of surprises in that regard. Just obviously a very quick reminder, it was Kev Aylett, Steve Woodcock and Jess Rakowski and also Michael Seal in the mix. You've also then got Scott Malcolm and Michael Hollingworth. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers all fighting for second place in the AM Championship. Do you have any news for us? Nice. Well, very good job to them. We'll wait and see, of course, if any drivers want to jump in and have a chat with us to round off the season. But I'm sure they're all very exhausted, very tired, and, well, just pumped, I suppose, after the season ends. So we'll wait and see if anyone does want to jump into us. But, James, it's been obviously a pleasure to be joining you in the commentary booth for the season. And, of course, I do look forward to starting up in a couple of weeks' time for season 2. But what a season it's been. I mean, it has just been probably the best debut season you could ask for. Yes, Media Day sort of started off a little bit awkward, but apart from that, we've been smooth sailing.
All be proud of everything that they've all done and achieved this season. You know, it was all very short. You know, I think if we said to these guys, look, we're going to add a race on in the end, they're going to be like, oh yeah, great, you know what I mean? Because they want that thing, that flurry, that rush that they don't get otherwise, you know, and that's why we've only got a 2-week break. You know, we start again on the 29th. So if you do want to get signed up, please head to www.jpbbroadcasting.com go to league racing, hover over it, it will say join a league. So go for that one and see how they get in there as well. So it's going to be exciting here. And let's have a chat actually with Arthur Fertile here once more. Arthur, welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I've taken a night off tonight. Young Zach's been leading the whole thing.
Oh, right. Why's that?
Can you not hear him? Listen to his old man voice.
I did think that he sounded a bit different. I've got a cold as well. I've just come back from holiday and got a cold.
Yeah, I'm dosed up with a chest infection and antibiotics. So,
Bless him.
yeah, so...
Well done for ploughing on through.
Oh, well, mate, I know. I'm just so dedicated and committed to you guys in the TCR. I just really wanted to see if you got third. Might be a bit tough for you today.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I think that was my worst round, actually. And it's the one that we're not allowed as a drop round, isn't it? But it's not... I think I still done better than some of the guys in front of me, so I don't actually know. I think, yeah, because Jamie Dory had a bit of a. He beat me in race 1, but he had a trouble in race 2. Gavin Gardner beat me just in race 2, but didn't finish race 1. Adam Delmott, who was just behind me in the standings, had 2 really good races. And Callum didn't have a very good race 1, and I was only just a few points behind him. I don't know. It's the honest answer. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, seems to be, I think you enjoyed your season so far. Well, the season's finished now. I'm just an autopilot. I keep assuming the season's going to carry on, but it's not. But thankfully, we have only got a couple of weeks until we're back. Are we seeing you on the tour around the US?
Might do, might not. At the moment, I'm probably not going to be doing it. But that's not because I haven't enjoyed this season. I've thoroughly enjoyed this season. To be honest, if you told me I had a chance of getting in the top 3 by the end of the season, I'd have taken that. I didn't at the start. It started out very well. I don't know where my pace went when we done the media event here. I was absolutely flying. So I don't know why I couldn't find that pace again tonight. But it is what it is. I've had great fun, and it's been for league racing. It's been fantastic racing. I've had some proper touring car battles with a bit of door banging and a bit of touching, which is always good fun. I think that second race was actually the first time I've been turned all season.
Nice. Great driving standards, and it's been a really successful season. It's been a pleasure, obviously, to watch you throughout the season. Before we let you go, though, Arthur, is there any shout-outs you want to give to round off season 1?
Shout out to you two for your fantastic broadcasting and the admins. I think John and Dan who set up the sessions. Everyone in the JPB team. SRL being top teammates. It's always good fun when we're all racing together in a big group like that. My wife, dog, rabbits, fans, everyone.
Awesome. Fans plural. That's confident. Nice one. Yeah, okay. Must be nice. Good job. Well, Arthur, it's been a pleasure to commentate on you. Pleasure, obviously, talking with you as well. Thank you for coming to join us.
Thank you.
Well, see you whenever.
Sure, I'll see you another time.
Of course. Arthur Fertile. Stuff. Well, who's next? Of course, Mr. Jay Corley. Well, you must be pleased. Not a bad final round, and well, I'm sure you were just out there having a bit of fun. But your season as a whole, talk us through it, your progress, how you managed to get on, and well, what led you to the AM victory.
Yeah, so I remember that first interview around, I think it was Donington the first round, wasn't it? Where it's just like, take 1 or 2 races, just see where we're at. Once the consistency started coming in and the results were sort of going my way as well at the same time, combining those two, And from there, it was just finish, keep it clean, and just let the positive podium finishes guide me to the championship win.
Nice, yeah. Seems to be again a really good season for you. A couple of weeks time though, we set across the Atlantic. We go to the US for 10 weeks. So first of all, we seeing you there?
Absolutely, already signed up, already paid,
all ready to go.
All ready to go.
But
Jay was one of the first
Mr.
in.
Jay Quali. Was he?
Yeah.
Of course he was. Yeah, well, that's commitment. But you're in the pros. Are you going to be one of the first in the pros? Is the question.
I'll be realistic. I think next season it'll be a bit of a slow start. Hopefully, with the responsibility of being a pro, I can race around the really quick lads, learn a few things, and hopefully pick up some bigger finishes towards the end. That's my personal aim for next season over in the Americas.
Of course, brilliant tracks. Of course, which one are you maybe most looking forward to?
There's a few I've never raced TCR on, but I think it's an unpopular opinion, but Sonoma. I'm absolutely in love with Sonoma. It's a fantastic track in open wheelers. In TCR, it can be just as good, if not better, in my opinion.
That's fair opinion. I've only been able to commentate Sonoma once. It was a GT4 race, but it was pretty damn good. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that play host to the season opener. Jay, it's been amazing talking to you, amazing commentating on you. Before we let you go, is there any shout outs you want to be given before we round off season 1?
Well, the organisers of this fantastic league in season 1 have done an absolutely brilliant job. I think it's definitely proof is in the pudding when you already got over half the grid already sorted for next season. Everyone in AMS for having it a massive competitive battle all through season, and then finally everyone who's been watching me over at twitch.tv/JCalls, at YouTube, TikTok, a few extra little plugs in there. JCalls is spelled JAYCAU double
Really?
LS at the end there. So yeah,
right.
Really.
I'll pop an invoice in Discord for you for your advertising time.
Yeah, no worries.
To be fair, we did ask if he wants any shout outs.
I didn't realise he was going to shout it out himself with every social possible.
There's 30 plus people watching him in my stream right now, just like taking the piss, and it's great. I've already muted you. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. I bet you haven't.
It's been a pleasure, guys, and I can't wait to come back in another couple of weeks' time.
Awesome stuff. Jay Quali, the YAM champion. Maybe the Pro Championship of Season 2. Who knows? Take care, Jay. We'll, as we say, we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Have a good one, guys. Take care,
man.
Have a good one. Bye to the 30 viewers on the Jay Quali Twitch channel as well. See you later, guys.
JPB broadcasted on YouTube. Thank guys. Bye, Jay.
Awesome stuff.
Take care.
We're going to Adam Delmont there, sir, as well.
Awesome stuff. Adam Delmont, welcome in. Not a bad evening for you, it must be said. That win and then a 4th place. You must be quite pleased, not only with tonight, but I suppose your season as a whole. Between the TCRs and the Clios, you're not too bad in some front-wheel drive cars, are you?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, it's a shame I had a bit of a meltdown halfway through the season and forgot how to drive the Civic for a little bit, to be fair, because I could have been maybe in a better position for this last round. But yeah, no, do you know what? Last race, I'm happy with tonight. Yeah, very happy.
Yeah, and talk us through, obviously, your season as a whole. You say it dropped off about halfway through. What exactly sort of happened with the Civic? Was it just a skill issue? Was it a Civic issue? What happened?
It's more the Civic is really, really good, but it's got a very, very fine margin of where it needs to be at its best. If you push slightly over that, it understeers. If you're a little bit under that, the rear's rotating too much. There's a very fine balance, and I just went through a few weeks of, my muscle memory kind of just not quite on it. But I even thought of changing car, and I actually switched to the Velocity in another TCR season I'm doing, and I don't think that helped, because trying to switch between the two cars each week, I don't know, it kind of just messed my muscle memory up a little bit. So, but yeah, last couple of rounds I've found my mojo with it again, and happy I didn't change it.
Well, very glad. And now you've got 2 weeks to practice. I assume we're seeing you back for season 2, our trip around the Americas. I mean, what's your aim? What are you expecting? More of the same, hopefully?
yeah, I'll definitely be back, and yeah, hopefully try and put a full season in without any mid-season meltdowns, and see if I can push, because I know I've got the pace when I'm there. I've got the pace. It's just Clio, I can consistently do it more often than not. This car, because I just seem to just split a little bit with this car, but the pace is there. I've just got to keep pushing. I mean, I was happy to be on the back of CRG and Dan and same pace as them in race one. Being able to maintain a gap to Dan, because Dan's and CRG are just really fast. So yeah, to be level with them by the end of the season, I think that's a good step to take into next season. I think
100%. I'm sure it'll be an enthralling rivalry between all of you. Speaking of next season, of course, as we touched on, you're very much looking forward to it. So are we. Is there any in particular sort of track that you're excited for when we take our trip across North America?
You know what? I'll have to be honest. I can't even remember the track list.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Because honestly, neither can I. It's fine. That's why I'm relying on you to sort of remind me of them. But it's fine. We'll go. Let's have a quick little look. I'll remind you quick.
You've lost your sheet, haven't you? You've put it. Have we? We haven't got it, have you?
You've got no. I found it.
Driver.
I found it. You've got Sonoma, you've got Laguna Seca, Mosport, Cota, Barber, Watkins, Virginia, Lime Rock, Road Atlanta, or Daytona to pick from.
Mosport stands out. I like Mosport.
Nice.
Road Atlanta's a good track. Yeah, I think they're probably the two standout ones for this particular car. I think for me.
Nice. Well, I'm sure you're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, best of luck when we get to those places. Before we let you go, of course, Adam, thank you for chatting to us. But any shout outs you want to be given before we round off season one?
Yeah, you guys as always for obviously broadcast and setting everything up and running things. Championship winners and podiums for both classes. Big shout out to them. Obviously, well deserved drives. The drivers, all inclusive, for making it a great season, and I hope to see them all back plus more. And yeah, that's it. I shall bid you adieu and come back on full send in a couple of weeks.
Awesome stuff.
I wouldn't delay on that sign up, mate. Let's just put it that way. We're halfway through the grid already.
Oh wow! Right. Well, do you know what I'm going to do as soon as this interview finishes? Then, don't you?
Go and join it. But yeah, we're halfway through the 40 grid already, and we only opened up yesterday evening.
Right. Okay. Well, I missed the open up, so yeah, I will go there now. Good sir.
Adam Delmont not reading the announcement in the JPB channel from yesterday at 7:25.
I'm I'm one of them drivers that just turns up with some aviators on, chucks them to the side and gets in car. Sorry, what can I say?
All right, mate. Well, good luck to you, but I'll catch up with you soon, buddy.
Good night, chaps.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
I suppose we better have a chat with Dan Mould. Actually, let's get Scott Malcolm, because Scott's been in here a while. So let's give Scott Malcolm a chat.
Yes. He's been waiting a while, hasn't he? Scott Malcolm, welcome in. That's the end of season one. That's it. We've had our 7 weeks of racing. It's gone by in a flash. And talk us through your season. Of course, you've had your highs, you've had your lows, and what do you think? How do you think you've done?
I could have done better, but I'm quite happy that we had finished. It was a wee bit unexpected, but yeah, been really good to a well run league.
100%. Completely agree. Again, been a really successful first season. We have got season 2 coming up very, very shortly. Only a couple of weeks' time, of course. Are we seeing you back for the trip around the US?
Oh yeah, I got a passport looked at everything.
Nice. And the visa, everything all sorted, ready to go? Beautiful.
I don't need a visa. I'm all right.
Packed the Iron Brew. I don't know if they sell it in the US. You got it ready?
I've got Iron Brew. I've got other things as well. Yeah, I'll be sweet. I'll be all right.
Ready to go?
I'll cook a couple of deep fried Mars bars in as well.
Nice. Deep fried Mars bars. Beautiful stuff. And the haggis, I'm sure. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you there. I mean, any particular track you're looking forward to? Anyone that stands out, or are you just looking to go around and test the water?
Now you put me on the spot because I don't even know what the.
Don't even know. Don't worry, Adam
numbers.
didn't either. Adam didn't either. We'll run it through one more time.
Hold on, young Zachary. Neither did you.
No, well, Callum. No, well, not Callum. Adam. Adam didn't know either.
No,
We've
neither
got
did you.
Sonoma. Yeah, no, we've got Sonoma, we've got Laguna Seca, we've got Mosport, Kota, Barber, Watkins Glen, Virginia, Lime Rock, Road Atlanta, and Daytona. I knew that all from memory. I haven't got the sheet just in front of me right now. Which one did you pick?
Mosport and
Yeah.
Road Atlanta.
Exactly the same as Adam Dalmont. You both seem to have good taste. Well, before we let you go, Scott, I suppose.
And Watkins Glen. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give before the end of season one?
Well, just obviously both of you for doing such brilliant broadcasts over the season. All the organisers for getting this league up and running, and all the drivers that have turned up and maybe gave some of the best racing that I've seen on the sim for a long, long time.
Nice. Yeah. Been a very successful season, as we say. It's been a pleasure to see you race and a pleasure to chat with you today, Scott. Take care. We'll see you back in Sonoma in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Hi. I'll speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye for now, Scott Malcolm. And then finally, we've got Dan Mould, who's been waiting a long time, the Pro Champion. Back to your winning ways, Dan Mould. Welcome in. Give us a summary, I suppose, of your season as a whole, because, well, tonight was definitely a good result, but I suppose taking the championship as well, it's a hard-fought one at least.
Yeah, give a summary. Changed my mindset at the beginning of the season. Going from wanting to win everything, from just picking my battles. I think that's one thing that I have done.
I do want to say I'm very proud of you for that, Dan. I've got to be honest.
Thank you. And maybe a bit of luck and not getting caught up in trouble on the reverse.
Due to your mindset and not going for silly battles?
Maybe. I don't know. I have fallen in love with the TCRs again, so I've gained a lot more confidence in them than I had previously. And that's about it, really. I mean, it's been some tough competition. I mean, granted, some of the real fast guys didn't complete, the full season, but they've been there or thereabouts. Callum, Sam, Adam, Arthur, Jamie, they were all there, and even like some of the guys who were in the AMs, I had a absolutely stellar battle with Fraser Alfick in this race, in race 2, and very frustrating, but I was like, go on, lad, battle me. So yeah, and I think this, obviously me and John have ran the previous SRL TCRs, but I don't like to say this, but I think this has been one of the best TCR seasons I've ever raced in regarding, the racing throughout the pack. There's always going to be incidents. That's racing, but I think overall, the racing and the respect between the group of people who get on here has been something that we should all applaud each other for.
100%. Me and James, all throughout the season, we've been talking about the caliber of drivers that we've got. It's been a very hard-fought championship. A couple of weeks' time, though, we get to do it all over again. We start a 10-week tour around the US, plus Canada, a little small trip to Mosport. I'm gonna hope you know enough of the calendar to pick a favourite. Which one's your standout, Dan Mould?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what the calendar is, but I do know that Road Atlanta's in there.
I knew you were going to say that one. That'll
be the favourite.
The question will be: are we going to see you next season?
At the moment, no. I think I'm going to take a break. But like I said to you, James, earlier, we'll see who signs up, and if the competition is good, then it might be something that I can't resist. So we shall see. We shall see. I've heard that Adam's signing up, so straight away the ball is moving over from the different court. So hopefully there'll be some top races in there, because it's always good to test yourself against the best. So hopefully more sign up. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Well, we've got
Awesome
a lot
stuff.
coming over from some of the guys from the GT4s, the DCW teams as well. Mike Pollard, Patrick Faulkner, Richard Simnor as well, I believe, is an addition onto it. So, yeah, it's looking a bit tasty, young sir, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be keeping a very watchful eye on it. See what happens.
As you should. As you should. Well, any shout outs you want to be given before we finally round off season 1?
I'm going to give a shout out to Adam Dalmont, because there was a lot of chat today in the general TCR chat about the Honda not being the car to use in the fix, and he's just gone out tonight and he's just proven to everybody in that chat that in the right hands, the Honda is an absolutely beast of a car. I couldn't catch him. I'm not going to lie, I was sweating my knackers off trying to get close to him. I think I was 0.5 for like 5 or 6 laps, and I just couldn't catch him. So big shout out to him, and big shout out to everybody who's done the season, as always. You two, people in the background. I know, is it Jono who's done a lot of the media work for the
Jono Cook.
The new season? Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and anybody who watches, yeah, that's it. Been absolutely a joy to be a part of, and I've loved every single week. I think everyone will agree that, you know, we go work in the week and we look forward to sitting down on a Friday and having a good old tussle, and I think that's what's happened. So thank you, everybody, and thank you to you two.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, hopefully we'll see you back, maybe even for a one-off or so appearance for season 2. Dan, it's been a pleasure. Congrats on your championship, and take care. See you whenever.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
And you.
All right.
Well, James, for quite a long interview period, but it's the end of the season. What can we expect? It's been an amazing season so far, and well, we round it off here before we head off for new beginnings in America.
Yeah, to be honest, this season's been amazing, and you know, we wasn't sure how people were going to react with the transfer over from SRL. Obviously, you know, from Dan and John himself, and then I think, to be honest, it's been really good. The standard of driving's been amazing. You know, at one point, I think we were like 4.2k average in the pros and touching 2k in the AMs, and you know, that just goes to show what's there and the quality that we have got. There's been a lot of sign-ups over this last, you know, day, literally, since we started it opening up. And, you know, it's been great. And I think going forward for season 2, you know, we're halfway through the amount of sign-ups already. So we have maxed it at 40. So we're halfway through that 40 already within the first 24 hours. So that's why I keep trying to reiterate to people, if you do want to get signed up, come and get yourselves involved. Join the JPB League's Discord that is down below. I promise there are days when I feel when my voice is a lot better. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it's been a stunning season, and I can't wait for the beginning of the season 2. Got a lot of things we're going to try and put together over the next few weeks. I'm working very closely with Tom Weston from the sim racing community, so there's stuff coming on with that. We've obviously seen the promo video as well, so I've got to give a big shout out to Ebby. His link is down in the description as well, who did the promo video for me. Jono for doing all of the promotion work and getting everything together and making sure it's out there. So yeah, Jono Cook, massive shout out to you for doing all the stuff that you've done in the background as well. And Dan Mould and John Brown, you know, Dan's been amazing. He's been putting out regular updates every Friday, what we've got coming up, how to be careful, make sure you're going to do this, or you're going to go and do that, or what, you know. And Dan has been amazing within the series, and I think his mindset just switched, and I like that when somebody realizes that something isn't working, so they go and change it. And Dan's done a great job, and he's reaping the fruits of his labor. You know what I mean? He's been amazing. John Brown for helping all as well, getting everything ready and with the decals and doing, the sessions and helping get the session set up with Dan. There's a lot of people involved in running a league, Zach. It's not just me. I don't, I'm not doing it all. I'm only one man, and I have to rely on other people. And the likes of, as you say, Dan Mould, John Brown, John O'Cook, have been incredible, and Ebby as well. So that's 4 people plus me all working on one league. So it just goes to show what's involved with getting everything together. And, the drivers themselves, they've all been amazing this season. As I say, trialed a new stewarding system, and literally we've only had 2 protests all season out of 12 races. And I think that just speaks absolutely massive to all of them. So it's been really good. I'm really looking forward to next season. 2 weeks time, Zach will be back with the tour of the Americas. There are already talks of plans for season 3 as well. So I'm keeping this one wrapped at the moment, because I do have a lot of say in picking the tracks, but I'm keeping this one wrapped for a minute. I'm not going to release anything, but let's just say we're not going to stay in America.
Interesting. Awesome. So we're taking jumps across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the JPB TCR Cup Championship. Season number 1 since the transfer over from SRL was a huge success. Dan Mould, Jay Quali, the 2 champions in the pros and the AMs. My name has been Zach Sweeney. I've had the boss, James Parfitt, alongside me throughout the championship. In 2 weeks' time, we'll go stateside. We'll go to Sonoma for round 1 of the American Cup. It's been a pleasure to talk you through each and every single minute of racing action. And in 2 weeks' time, we'll go again. Just a reminder, if you do want to get yourself involved, sign-ups are going quick. So get yourself onto the James Parfitt Broadcasting website. Get yourself signed up for Season 2 if you're interested. If not, and you'd rather take it from a nice, comfy, relaxed POV, you'll be joining myself and James back in the commentary booth in a couple of weeks' time. In the meantime, guys, take care and a very warm goodbye.